Okay, second grade. Today our target in reading is I can recount the story using key details. And remember that last week we already talked about key details, and key details are the characters, the setting, the problem, and the solution. But recounting using those details means to retell our story over again. So we're going to use the beginning, middle, and end to retell our story. So in the beginning, we're going to talk about our characters and the setting. In the middle, we're going to talk about the problem. And then at the end, we're going to talk about the solution. Okay? If I were to do this with our book from last week, Bronterina, I would say in the beginning, Bronterina wanted to go to Madame Loisel's dance studio, which is the characters in the setting. In the middle, we find out that the dance studio is too small for Bronterina, and she doesn't have ballet shoes. But in the end, Clara's mom gets her some ballet shoes, and they find a studio that is big enough for Bronterina and all the other dinosaurs and cows and animals that want to be a dancer. So that's me recounting the story using my key details. You are going to do that today with a book called Happy Like Soccer. And this book is written by Maribeth Boltz and illustrated by Lauren Castillo. And this book is about a little girl named Sierra that lives with her aunt. And her aunt works on Saturdays, which are days that Sierra has soccer games. And she really, really wants her aunt to come to a game. But her aunt works those days. And her aunt finally gets a Saturday off, but something happens on that Saturday. So let's read and find out what happens and how she solves her problem. Here we go. Happy Like Soccer. And then nothing makes me happy like soccer. Picked for this new team with these shiny girls. My shoes have flames and my ball spins on this spread out sea of grass with no weeds. Fields with no holes and real goals. Not two garbage cans shoved together like in the lot by my apartment, where soccer means any kid who shows up can play. And there's Sierra and her friends playing soccer. But nothing makes me sad like soccer too, because the restaurant where my aunt works is busy on Saturdays, and she can't take off for something like a soccer game. Early every game day, my auntie looks me over good, brushes my hair, rubs my legs with lotion. She says, "Have fun and play hard, Sierra." I smile, but when she hugs me goodbye, I know she can feel me low around the edges. And she's sad because she wants her aunt to watch her play. Then my ride comes, filled with laughing girls who know the jokes I don't. We weave past the empty lot and through my neighborhood and outside the city where the buses don't run. And so the girls that she plays soccer with are not where she's from. And where she plays is a little far from her neighborhood. When the game starts, I do play hard and I do have fun. But my eyes have their own mind, spying the sidelines where families sit on blankets and wave from fold-out chairs. They cheer for me by the number on my uniform, not knowing my name. Every girl has someone there but me. And so she looks on them sidelines and she's sad because all the other girls have family members that are shouting their names, but she only has people that are shouting her number because they don't know her. This is not her neighborhood. None of her family are there. And it's not her aunt's fault that she can't come. Her aunt just has to work. These families, they have the privilege of having those days off and being able to be at the soccer games. Coach Marco high-fives me and tells me he is glad I am on the team. When he asks me if there's anything I need, I bite my lip without meaning to and tell him no. And that's like nervous. So she wants to say something, but she doesn't say it. After the game, we ride back home into the city, through my neighborhood, past the empty lot, and right to the restaurant, where my auntie brings me chicken and noodles. On her break, we talk about the game and what all happened as best as I remember. There's our coach, Marco. And there's Sierra and her aunt. And you see her aunt really cares because she's asking her about the game and she wants to hear about it. So if her aunt could go, she definitely would. Then, on Friday, my auntie tells me that her boss has heard me talking. He asked her if she would like to trade her shift on Saturday for one on Sunday so she could come to my last game. What did you tell him? I asked. My auntie laughs. I said, yes, of course I would. Then we dance a made-up dance in the kitchen and bake a cherry cake the way we always do when there's celebrating going on. That night, I am so excited that I dream about soccer. In my dream, I am running so fast that I lift off the ground a little bit. Even my ball is in the air. Flying dreams mean you're feeling fine, my auntie says in the morning, and she is right. So this is exciting. Auntie can finally go to a soccer game. She's so anxious that she can't sleep. Have you ever had that feeling where you're so excited that you can't go to sleep? My auntie and I traveled to the game together, riding on one bus past the empty lot, then another bus through the city, then walking the rest of the way to the fields. And so they don't have a car, so they use the bus. And it takes them, it sounds like 2 buses to get to their game. But when my game is ready to start, I feel it. Fat raindrops plopping. Then thunder starts its show. And in the distance, lightning. Coach Marco gathers us up quick and says the game is canceled, but will be rescheduled. I swallowed. Sure that the rescheduled last game will be on a Saturday. Sure it will be outside of the city. Sure my auntie's boss won't do 2 favors right in a row. Oh, this is that challenge I was talking about. Her auntie could finally come see her play, but the game is canceled. And you can see Sierra in the middle. I feel so bad for her. Coach Marco gives me and my auntie a ride back home. In the car, my auntie sits by close, her hand warm, covering my knee. At home, we play cards and eat cherry cake. And look at old pictures. My auntie pulls out the funny ones to make me feel better. And I would, except I'm thinking hard. She's thinking hard. I'm wondering what she's thinking about. When she tucks me in, I'm still thinking about the empty lot by my apartment and my auntie's day off being Monday. And I wonder if maybe this time, for this last game, I can answer Coach Marco's question about if there's anything I'm needing with something true. My auntie is asleep, so I tiptoe to the kitchen. So remember when Coach Marco would ask her, is there anything I can do for you? And she would say, no. She does have one thing. What do you think it is? What do you think she's going to ask Coach Marco? I think because she really wants her aunt to play, and she knows her aunt's off day is on Monday, and there's an empty lot by her apartment. Ooh, I think she's gonna ask Coach Marco. I don't know, let's see. My heart is thumping the way it does when my teacher calls me, even though I haven't raised my hand. So you know that feeling when you're nervous, when the teachers ask you to talk and your hand goes in the air, but you're not ready. Your heart is beating really fast. You're nervous. So she's nervous on this phone call. I dial the first part of Coach Marco's phone number and hang up, shaky. I wait and I try again. Coach Marco answers. I take a breath and tell him I'm sorry for it being late, and then I say my idea fast and I'll run on. That maybe the game could be on Monday, and maybe it could be at the lot by my apartment, and then maybe my auntie could come. Coach Marco is quiet listening. Then he says he'll make some calls. I can't promise, Sierra, he says, but I'll let you know. So she asked Coach Marco, maybe can we have the game in the lot by my apartment? Maybe can we do it on a Monday so my aunt can come? She really had the courage to call him. She's brave. Hopefully her plan works. She was thinking super hard about this plan. I'm hoping it works for her. Let's read and find out. It is a long time until morning. City sounds are all around, mixed with my auntie's steady breathing and my own self noisy with what I want to happen. She's anxious again. She can't sleep. She's so excited. She's wondering, will it happen? Will it not happen? Later, Coach Marco shows up at the lot to see for himself and tells me that my idea was a good one. This will work for everyone, he says, smiling. I run home, skipping the stairs 2 at a time. My words spill the story, and my auntie tips my chin up and looks at me, both amazed and proud. You did that for me? She asks. I nod, and she pulls me close. For me too, I say. It's her running home. She's super excited. It's her aunt. Such a sweet moment in our story. At the last game, there are families on blankets and people waving from fold-out chairs. There are faces from my neighborhood too, on bikes, stopping by with all the others. And I hear my name because they know me, not just my number. And above the rest, I hear my auntie's strong voice cheering me on. So in her neighborhood, her neighbors know her, and her aunt's able to come. I love it. All because she had the courage to make that phone call to her coach. And I run so fast that this time I know for real that I am flying. The end. And that is the end of our story. So for your assignment today, you are going to be recounting the details in our story. So you're going to retell them using the key details. So in the beginning, there was Sierra and her aunt and Sierra wanted her aunt to play to watch her play her game, but the games didn't happen in her neighborhood. They happened in another neighborhood. In the middle, her auntie was finally able to come to the game, but something happened. Her auntie was finally able to come to the game in the middle. I'll take you back to that photo that helps us. But something happened. What was the problem? That goes in the middle. In the middle, Sierra's aunt was finally able to come and something happened. And then in the end, Sierra did something so brave that solved her problem and helped this happen in the story. So how did she solve that problem and be able to play in her neighborhood? So you're going to tell me what happens in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Have fun.